Everybody, there's a man on the wing! There's a man out on the wing! Just kidding. Mark here, everybody. And as if you haven't already guessed, this is going to be an episode about travel and eating healthy and staying healthy while on a long plane flight. It's going to be tips and advice that maybe will help you on your next long journey. Just a second. Ma'am? Yeah, I would like another flat, warm ginger ale. Oh, certainly. You don't need to give me the whole can. I'll never be able to finish that much. Oh, you're still here. Forgot. Sorry. Cue the kazoos. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Future Former Fatty's Food Forum, or as we like to call it, You may be asking yourself, Mark, why are you in a coat closet? I'm glad you asked that question. You know, I just realized that was a very Dora the Explorer moment after I did it, but you know what? We'll just let that slide for now. The reason I'm in a coat closet is because we don't have a very big budget for this show. And I think we might have spent our entire yearly budget on that opening sequence. And also, I don't know somebody who owns a commercial airliner that we could film on. So, here we are in the closest approximation I could find to an uncomfortable, hot, small space to talk about eating healthy on an airplane. So here we are. So in setting up for this particular episode, I did a little bit of research. And before we get to the food aspect of travel, I found some very disturbing things when it comes to basic cleanliness on an airplane. I was looking up some articles about calorie content of various pre-prepared airline foods and looking up stories about airline foods. I ran across a couple of articles that were incredibly disturbing, just talking about the cleanliness of a modern day jetliner. And what I found out is these things are basically flying outhouses. I mean, these things are so full of germs. So something we did in preparing for our long plane flight when we went to the UK, we planned ahead a little bit and brought some sanitizing wipes. And now knowing what I know, that was a brilliant idea. Because a couple of the areas, just to give you an example of a couple of the areas that airlines are really disgusting about, let's talk about the blankets and pillows. Very often, they don't wash them or clean them. They just put them back into plastic bags and hand them out again. And the second most dirty thing about an airline, other than the actual restroom, is something I never even thought about. The seat pocket in front of you in your seat. It's so gross. People put food in there. So what I'm trying to tell you is, don't put food in there. Because the most common bits of trash, because that's where people put their trash, is in the front seat pocket. I've done it. Other people have done it. And I never really thought about it. But the number one thing found in there are used Kleenexes. Ugh. And if you put your food in there, and they're never cleaned. If ever. Rarely if ever cleaned. So if the fact that the pillows are gross and have all kinds of dead skin cells on them, or the fact that there's a snot rocket pocket right in front of you, the most disgusting thing on an airline, other than the actual bathroom, is your drop-down tray. Because you know what? The most common thing that happens on that drop-down tray is not eating. It's changing diapers. Yeah. Most commonly, after a flight, you'll find used diapers sitting on those trays in a lot of places. And again, they rarely, if ever, clean them. So bring a little portable package of handy wipes and wipe down everything that your hand touches. And don't put food in that seat pocket. Even if it's in a wrapper, it just sounds gross. So now that we've covered the uncleanliness of an airline, what's inside my little underseat bag besides my iPad that I would bring with me? Of course, now I'd bring one of these masks. I'd bring a set of rubber gloves. But what's in here to eat? Let's take a look. First of all, how did we decide what to bring? Here are the things we considered as factors in our decision. We needed to have a good variety of items that tasted good, were low in calories and relatively healthy. It definitely needed to be filling. It couldn't have any refrigeration, and obviously no liquids or gels. The first thing we chose was unsalted premium blend nuts from Planters. This particular tub o' nuts we picked up at Sam's Club. It comes in at about 170 calories for an ounce. That calorie count may seem a little high, but when you compare it to the average calorie count inside the meals that the airline lovingly microwaves for you, it comes out to be about the same. This snack meets all of our above criteria, and even though it's not the lowest in calories, it's very filling and easily transportable. This particular blend of nuts is a mix of cashews, pistachios, almonds, pecans, and Brazil nuts. Even though these nuts are unsalted, with the good mix of flavors you didn't even miss it. And we took all the leftover nuts with us to the hotel room and snacked on them there. Next up, our little tiny orange friends, baby carrots. The snack definitely met most of our criteria. If it fell short in any one area, it was probably the lack of refrigeration. The baby carrots are definitely fine though for the short period of time you're going to be eating them on your plane flight. The carrots travel well, they're crunchy, and they are definitely a nice fresh alternative to the pre-packaged crap that the airlines are more than happy to sell you. Besides, if they're good enough for a 1930s Brooklyn bunny, they're good enough for me. Next up out of the snack sack, Special K protein bars. I know there are a lot of protein bars and energy bars on the market, but I find that the Special K protein bars have a nice mix of protein to help keep you full and low enough in calories, relatively speaking, coming in at only 110 calories a bar. And they also taste really good, so I think that makes for a winning combination. Plus, they hit all the marks on our list. Also, they come in 4 great flavors for extra variety. You know, I think I sound like a Kellogg corporate shill, but don't worry, we're not being sponsored or paid by them. Wait a minute, that's not a bad idea. Kellogg's, if you're listening, my email address is futureformerfattysfoodforum@gmail.com. And finally, that brings us to blueberries. I know, blueberries. Not very exciting. But you tell that to Violet. I think she has a whole different opinion about blueberries. Blueberries again hit on just about all the marks on our list. Just like carrots, they'll be fine, unrefrigerated for the period of time during the plane flight. But be careful, I just don't think they taste as good when they've been out of the refrigerator for more than a day. Blueberries are actually a pretty sturdy fruit. I mean, I wouldn't put them at the bottom of the backpack or anything, but they certainly travel well when you keep them on the top, and they really do not crush very easily at all. And if you compare them to apples, they're way lighter to carry around in your backpack all day long. And remember, never ever underestimate the tiny blueberry, because
they are always watching.
All right, everybody. That wraps it up for another episode of Future Former Fatty's Food Forum. I hope you picked up a few tips today about how to eat better when you're taking long-distance flights, or even short flights for that matter. I also hope you learned a few things about just how disgusting a jet plane can be. And please take some sanitizing wipes to wipe things down, like your tray table and your armrest and just anything you touch, and don't put food in the seat pocket, ever. Well, if you like this episode, or you like this show, please click like and subscribe down below. And if you have any ideas about future shows I could do or topics you'd like for me to talk about, please let us know in the comments below. And if you talk about us on social media or put links to any of these shows on your social media, remember to use the hashtag. You know, that's really gross when you do it inside of a mask like this. Well, that's it for Future Former Fatty's Food Forum this week. We'll see you later.